Guys, alrighty, so yes, I've driven out, my nails are wet. It was a big mistake for me to paint them before driving. I was driving like this, which, you know, because I don't want to smudge them, and lo and behold I smudged one, and I really hope you can't see it, but if you can, we're going to pretend that it doesn't exist. As my top moved, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I'm literally wearing sweatpants on the bottom, but I wanted to, if I look nice, yeah, then you ought to know, if I look horrible, then this isn't the case, but if I look nice to you, then the case is that my look has been inspired today by Rita Kaminsky. If you know, you know. So shout out to her, not that she needs like a shout out, if you know what I mean, but like, thank you to her, creds to her for inspiring my look today, because the girl always looks like she has just walked out of the ocean, like the Australian Ocean, and she's just fresh and she gives everything. I'm just like, I have a real appreciation for women right now, like beautiful, you know, when women just put themselves together and you're just like, anyway guys, we're here for another video. If you're here for the first time, thank you clicking on my video. Oh my god, how exciting. My nails are still wet, so and my hair's wet, like we're going for a haul. I was trying to look like a mermaid who has just stepped out of the, like a witch mermaid. I'm really sorry that we're in a car. I mean, you would think like I'm trying to go for mermaid, so I should have the beach behind me. Yeah, but I don't live anywhere near a beach, so that's not really going to work out, is it? But, so we're kind of like, we just got green. So we're going to pretend that there's an ocean behind me, because I just feel like that's a lot more fun. And I've got my handy dandy computer, as always. And of course, yeah, I know, I'm in a car. Hold on. Oh, imagine everything. It's just chaos, guys. Me trying to work with myself. Like, this is why I couldn't be an entrepreneur, because I'd just be like, I'd hate working with my, you know, going to the office and working with my colleague, which is me. Drive myself insane. I have no, okay, whatever. Guys, I'm going to be looking down every now and then. So, let's get into why your limit. Hold on. Not that. Oh, by the way, I actually really wanted to, let's just first, what? First of all, why we're in a car. We're in a car because my dad's not feeling very well, so he's taking a nap. So I went for a drive, and here we are. Get well soon, Dad. Second thing, guys, I hope you're doing well. Just generally, I hope you're doing well. I can't remember when on my schedule this is set to be uploaded, but I just want to say thank you for being here. And not just watching my video, but just in life, if you've been having a hard time, if, you know, things are really overwhelming and a lot, I'm just thankful that you are still choosing to be here and to show up for yourself, even if it's just through small habits a day, or like one good thing you did today. I want to say I'm proud of you, and you should be proud of you too. And, you know, these things, I'm gonna say, well, I've actually said this in other videos, but those videos haven't been uploaded yet. But usually these types of things, no one really pats you on the back. So I'm here to pat you on the back and say you're doing a great job, even if it doesn't feel like it. And I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and I asked them how they were doing, and they were actually honest, you know, like not many people do that, right? And even me, like usually if, because this was at my job, usually if someone who's like sort of in service and stuff asks me, I'm just going to say great, because, you know, they're in the middle of working, you know, I wouldn't want to be a bother. But obviously me being on the receiving end of that, and also me just being kind of how I am, like if I ask, I'm more than happy to hear. Like if you want to give me like, I'm not going to say like a Bible long story, but if you want to give me a story, then I'm happy to listen. And this lady actually, she ended up saying, you know, she's been having a really hard time, and she didn't go into what, and obviously she didn't need to, but, you know, sometimes people just need to hear some encouraging words, and you can tell yourself a lot when you're in it. I used to date someone that used to be on a motorbike all the time. What am I saying? That owned a motorbike. I used to be on a motorbike all the time. Annoying fuckers. Anyway, sometimes you can tell yourself a lot, you know, when you're going through it. I've been there. And you give yourself the positive affirmations, as you should. Sorry guys, people like to walk their dogs, obviously, in green area, which I completely respect. Oh, that is the cutest little thing in the world. I want you. That, oh God, alright. Mate, would you loan me a dog? Bloody gorgeous. Oh my God, how many dogs does he have? Okay, sorry guys. Anyway, this was a mistake. I'm in the wrong location. Oh, my heart. It's a good thing I sorted my storage out before this, because Lord knows I'm gonna need it. When you're going through it, it's, you can say a lot to yourself, but sometimes you just need to hear that encouragement coming from other people as well. And it can really make, I'm not gonna say break your day, you should never really let it break your day, but I think sometimes when you're just having a really bad day, it can break your day. And so I just want to say that you got this, you're doing amazing, you're probably doing better than you think, and it really sometimes is just about putting one foot in front of the other. And if you're doing that, I'm so proud of you. Well done. Thank you for doing that for you. And you should thank yourself too. Also, it's really windy, so if you can hear that, like, you'll probably see that tree move, I would imagine, or like leaves and stuff flying about. Guys, do you see me moving? The car moving? Okay, I'm gonna try and get this video done in the next hour tops, because I don't want a tree falling down and making it so that I can't get home. Okay, let's go. Your only limit is you. Stop holding yourself back. 5 steps I took to learn how to live a limitless life. Now, I haven't actually listed all of these things in order. Back in the day, I'm gonna change that angle. No, I'm not gonna. I like that angle. I'm not gonna change that angle. What am I on about? Oh no, she smudged again. First things first, the backstory. I won't make this too long, but in case you don't know, your girl has had a rough 6 years, if I'm honest. Not all of it's been bad, but I will definitely say last year just took the cake, and then it threw a cherry on top. Is that how it goes? Put cherry on top of the cake? Cherry on top of what? Let's just say it's on the cake, okay? Last year was just so delicious. It was just so much character building. Oh, chef's kiss, babe. It was so good. But you know what? Honestly, if it wasn't for last year, I don't think I'd be here today making these videos. So it is what it is. You got to take it. You got to take the good. Even, you just got to be like, okay, cool. We're here, So last year, to sort of paint a picture, it'll kind of give you some context as to how I came, not even to these conclusions. It's just a sort of way of being and a way of life that I've sort of implemented into my life. And some of these things come more easily to me than other things, but I really feel that it took me having to go to such a low place and giving up on myself to remember these lessons. And I want to save you from having to do that. There's another dog. That one looks like it's from Molly and me. I want to save you from having to go that low. I want to save you from having to hit rock bottom and from having to see the worst in yourself and experience the most pain. A lot of the happiest people you will meet, I don't mean the people with the most material abundance in life, I mean the happiest people. Those people have habits that are implemented into their life, their lifestyle. I guess, which you could say, create their lifestyle. And I'm not talking about waking up at 5 a.m. and drinking a lemon water or the apple cider vinegar stuff and going to the gym, and not saying these things are bad, but I'm not talking about the regular habits. I'm talking about your mindset and a sort of way of being. If you exist in a space like how I did, going back 6 months to a year, I was very low, I was in a big spiral, lots of emotional stuff. If you exist in a space like that, you're existing in a lower version of yourself. And I think that's obvious and that's sort of a given. Breaking out of that can feel like an impossible task. So I'm going to break down 5 things that I feel are the most important for you and the most sort of conducive for you to be able to go from step 0 to 1. I'm not talking 0 to 100. I'm talking 0 to 1. When I say 5 steps I took to learn how to live a limitless life, one might think that when I say limitless, I mean where you feel you can do absolutely anything, or more specifically that you can do absolutely anything. Yes, to an extent, I guess, but it's more so about feeling that way. It's more so about feeling that you can do absolutely anything. And I think when you've been in such a low state for yourself for so long, you feel like you can't do anything, you know, let alone like one thing on your like retired list of goals or dreams or achievements or whatever. Sorry, it's people in the background, so I probably zoomed into my face. Or not. You know what? It doesn't matter. There are people. It's what it is. Actually, a lot of people are coming now. Probably because the sun's gonna go down soon. It's very easy to feel like you can't do anything when you're in such a low space, when you're at 0, when you're depleted. Or maybe you've been having a rough time. Maybe you haven't been at 0 consistently, like in a depression or anything like that, or experiencing depression, but you've just been having a really rough few weeks and you don't know how to pick yourself up. You don't know what's missing. It might be one of these 5 things. It might be a combination. It might be all of them. It could be none of them. It does depend. But this might resonate with you, and if it does, I really, really, truly hope it does help you. Lord knows I really would have benefited from knowing these things. Going from 0 to 1 can feel like such an impossible task. It can feel like it's not open to you. When you look at these self-help videos of what to do, how to get your life together, I'm not saying all are bad. I'm not saying that none of them are good. They obviously are, but I think a lot of them are shared from a perspective of people that are in their after. People that are feeling like 100, that have their lives at 100. You see the morning routine or the night routine of a millionaire, the person who's made it, right? They've so-called made it. And it's really hard not only to relate to that, but sometimes you get a more diluted version of what it is that you really need to hear. So I'm not saying that I'm not in my after. I think I'm nearing it, but because I'm nearing it, because of the before being something so close and personal to me and only being a matter of months ago, I feel I can give you obviously biased, I feel I can give you a decent take on what you can do to go from 0 to 1 without it feeling like an impossible task. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to touch on, you probably already know this, but it's discipline. So if you're feeling intimidated by discipline and you think, okay, all of a sudden I need to have this rigid schedule and it needs to look like this, it needs to be like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Honey, no. When you're starting out, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It does not have to look like that. But whatever form it takes on, you know what, actually I made a separate video about this. It was an impromptu one, which will be slightly more encouraging if you're in those early steps of picking yourself back up. So I'm not going to go into that too much at this moment in time. Put it simply, discipline. Where can you say no to yourself? Where can you start to say no to yourself? You don't need to go to the biggest pain point. Say, for example, you struggle with your diet. Say, for example, you struggle with smoking. Say, for example, you struggle with dealing with your anger, your rage, right? Out of the 3, the one that you struggle with the most, don't start there. You're going to end up so defeated. Don't do that to yourself. Start with the one that you find easiest. It's still going to be hard. It's still going to be a challenge. But start with the one that feels easiest to you. What I want you to know is that if you cannot master a no to yourself, you will never be able to master a no to the world. What does this mean? When you say no to yourself, what do? You create a boundary. Yeah? Are you heard of that? You create a boundary with yourself. You say, you know what? No, this is not going to happen. We are creating a line here. We do not cross past this. Why? Because we know that on the other side of this, there are consequences that aren't actually good for me in the long run, that don't actually benefit me. What do you do if you disrespect that boundary? If you waltz on over to the other side? You lose respect for yourself. Why? Because you've now gone and done something, the very thing you said you wouldn't do, which has harmed you and is now harming you. It might not harm you in the moment, but it's coming to you, babe, like a boomerang. Okay, you threw it out there the moment you crossed that threshold. It's coming back to you. And it's not going to feel good. It's going to trip you up and you're going to be like, I knew it. This was going to happen. And then what? You beat yourself up and you try again, and great, good, try again. But if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, I think we all know that's called insanity, right? So when you say no to yourself about something, you stick to it. You see, I said this in a recent video. I think it was about LOA? I think it was about 3 things that could be holding you back. What's it called? It won't work right now because my Wi-Fi is not on my computer. 3 things in life that might be holding you back or something. I said in that we can only be seduced by people that treat us either better than how we treat ourselves or on par, right? So if you are so willing to cross your own boundaries, harm yourself, what do you think you're going to accept from other people? Because this whole time you've been sending yourself a message that it's okay, my boundaries don't actually matter. Every time you do that, right? Every time you've said that I'm going to say that no to myself, and then you don't, what you're saying to yourself subconsciously or consciously is saying that it doesn't actually matter. I don't actually matter. That better version of me doesn't actually matter. And that's not true, is it? But if you think that that's still true, honey, you still got some work to do. You got some shadow work to do. You got some healing to do, and that's okay. But you need to understand that no starts from you. That boundary starts within you. It's a decision you make. You got to get real comfortable with it. It's going to feel so uncomfortable at first. It's going to be your discomfort zone, but it will get comfortable the more you practice it. It's like a muscle. More on that in a minute. No discipline leads to an imbalance. It leads to you being walked all over, whether it be by others or yourself, like I said. As you know, motivation is like feelings, fleeting. Discipline is what you need to achieve things, not motivation. Okay? So I know I've discussed boundaries here, but I think the maintenance of boundaries also requires a certain level of discipline, which is why I brought that up earlier. Because what you do when you disobey that no that you have given yourself, you disrespect yourself. And when you disrespect yourself, you soon start to see yourself, if you do it continuously over and over, as somebody who is not worthy of being respected. Now, what do you think is going to happen with that self-concept? You're going to go out into the world. How do you think? Not actually how you're going to be treated. How you're going to be treated is how you're going to be treated. People out there, always going to be shitty people out there that want to just spew crap on you. But what behavior do you think you're going to accept? It's very damaging. Discipline is like a muscle to be strengthened with time, okay? So, like I said, the more you practice saying no to yourself, the easier it will get. I'm not saying it'll ever be easy. It might be for you. That's the goal, right? That's the dream. Saying no to chocolate. Are you kidding me? I'd love that. Easy. Amazing. I would love it easy. But it will get easier to say no, and not only say no, but to follow through with it. And then not only to follow through with it, but to feel good about it. Okay? It's like a muscle. You gotta strengthen it. The other thing is, I mentioned this in my ranty video a few months ago. A few months ago. Motivational talk from someone living life as that bitch. Okay? That one, and I think it was my discipline video, if I'm not mistaken. But I talk about the satisfaction limit you experience in life without discipline. When I was at my lowest, I was already just super low from other factors in my life. Scrolling was my favorite hobby. Eating not very good. I mean, it was good food, but it was not good, like healthy food. Alcohol, a little smokeroo, these things. All of these things, they are, is the right term hedonistic activities? They are pleasure inducing, right? Now, I'm not saying these things can't be enjoyable. They obviously absolutely can. But if you just do that over and over and over and over and over again, in its variety of formats, maybe there's a scientific thing behind it, like where your dopamine receptors just get fried. But you'll always be yearning for more. It's never enough. You know when maybe you've done like a sugar cleanse, right? You haven't eaten sugar for 30 days. I used to do that back in the day. And then you have a little bit of sugar on day 31 or day 1 of the next month or whatever. And it tastes so good, like so good. But you can only eat half the dessert. You can't eat the whole one and then some. You can only eat half, and half feels good. Half feels like you're satiated, like you've indulged. You don't still feel hungry. However, you know that feeling where you could eat a whole chocolate cake and then some. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're not like me. But you could just keep going endlessly. There's no stop. You know, or if there was, it was like 5 minutes ago and I went past it. I don't care. Or I do care, but I just don't know what to do about it. That's very self-destructive, and I'm sure you know that. But let me tell you something. You can keep running. You can keep eating. You can keep smoking. Whatever your vice is, right? I'm not going to judge you for it. Unless maybe you're just like really, really like harming people around you. Then that's, you know. But whatever. We all have our vices. It doesn't matter. This video isn't about judging people. It's not my place. Well. Did my God complex just come out? Kidding. God is humble, unlike me. That satisfaction, the level of satisfaction that you will get from indulging, overindulging, to be honest, it will never, never match up to the joy and fulfillment you get from doing the hard work. The grittiness of saying no to yourself and following through. Never. What you're looking for is not going to be found in that other chocolate cake, I'm telling you, hon. It's not. Use that example as you will. Put down the fork. It's going to feel like shit. Change gear. Go do something else. Funny I say that in a car, right? Go do something else. Take a shower. Do something that involves some mindfulness, where your mind can escape. Clearly you want some escape. You want some relief, some time with yourself. You need some time with yourself. You ever notice when you're overindulging, you're not actually with yourself. You're running away from yourself. Go shower. Let your thoughts slow down. Let the nonsense wash away. And leave you with what actually needs to be dealt with. I can tell you, as someone who's gone from that lifestyle to the lifestyle I live now, not perfect, far from, like I said, I'm not in the after. I'm not in the after yet. I'm nearing it, but I'm not in it. 1 year from now, I think I will be. I cannot tell you what it feels like to go from that to this. Because on the one hand, yes, you indulge, overindulge, but let's call it indulge. Yeah, we indulge, sure, okay. You indulge, and it feels really good. And then you have more, and it feels really good. And you have more, and it feels good. And you just keep escaping good, yeah, yum, 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 amazing. Whatever your vice is, great. But there's this shadow. There's this guilt. There's this despair, this desperation for something more. And no matter how much you eat, how much you drink, whatever, it is never enough, and you are never satiated. It is like a bottomless pit that you are just trying, to fill? I don't know. It's just never enough. Going from that to a place where you move through life, you do a little something, it stings, you're like, I don't like it, ew, ugh, ew. But then you get to the other side of that pinch, that injection, like that injection, like that sort of initial pain, right? You know where they like numb, and you know, maybe that's not the best analogy, ignore that. Just that sort of initial sting of it, and then you see, you feel glowy. That void, it literally feels like you're trying to fill something when you're overindulging, or indulging, in your words. Oh, mine. It feels like you're missing something. when you stop and you slow down and you choose discipline, you say no and you stick with it, it hurts in the beginning. Like, ew, what the fuck is this? This is way too spicy for my liking. No, thank you. No, thanks. But then you realize you feel whole. You feel glowier from within. You feel more alive. You feel like you can live with yourself, like you're not trying to escape yourself anymore. So how I depicted it then in those videos was, if we describe this as the happiness meter or the fulfillment meter, something like that, the joy that you would actually get from overindulging, it will cap up to here. It will guarantee you. It's like those people that take drugs, right? And then you have to just keep taking harder and harder and harder drugs. It keeps capping out. You can't tap into more. There is no more. There is no more. Not out here anyway. It comes from within. So when you finally say no, and you hold that no, you stay firm in that, the joy and fulfillment that you experience then, it's not just here, all the way up there, and then some, and then some. Okay? Give it a go. Give it a go. Start. Just start somewhere. You are going to feel so uncomfortable. You're going to look at yourself and be like, who am I? It makes no sense. But once you get into it, and once you see how the world shifts around you, you're going to be like, oh damn, I did that. And then you're going to realize your new identity. And it's going to feel really, really good. Oh my god, the daylight's going! Next part. Living outside of my comfort zone. Okay, so this also kind of touches on like the last stuff. The best version of you exists outside of your comfort zone. Acknowledge that. You may think that you don't want to be them, or that you don't need to be them. But chances are, if you're causing your own suffering, you probably need a good dose of doing stuff that terrifies you. And usually, when I'm doing things outside of my comfort zone, you will probably hear me saying, I hate myself so much. Sorry. That's my lip gloss. I'm eating my lip gloss. I'll be like, why did I sign myself up for this? But you gotta remember, the key is to feel the fear, but do it anyway. Okay? We know that saying. Why? Because you want to live a life that is full, right? Full and free and authentic to you. But in order to do that, you need to be the fullest version of yourself, right? You need to be the fullest version of yourself first and foremost. And that comes from embracing the fact that all of you, dream you, full you, will not exist inside of your comfort zone. Full you comes from embracing your shadow, yeah? Embracing the mess that you are today, looking to the future and being like, who is she? Who is he? Who are they? Where do I want to go? Taking all of it and being like, this is who I am. I'm a moving, I'm a story. I am a work in progress. I am my past, my present, and my future combined, and that is beautiful. I am not just my past. I am not just this chaos in this moment. I'm also that future version of me. Just imagine, like, how freeing is it? Let me tell you right now. Let's do this activity. I want you to imagine that nobody knows about your past. Your past doesn't matter right now. Who you've been, all of your, like, bullying, bad habits, secrets that have been, whatever, bullshit. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Nothing matters like that. Just for 1 second even. 1 second. Give yourself that. 10 maybe at a push. Now I want you to think of your future self. Your dream self maybe. You're them. I'm giving you permission to be them right now. Feel them. Embody them. What does that feel like? Imagine it feels pretty good, right? What if I told you now that you can be that? that you can release what you feel is holding you back. The weight of that, it doesn't have to be so heavy. You give it meaning. Give yourself permission to let it go. As much as you can. You don't have to let it all go. Hold on to what makes, what makes sense for you. But if it hurts you, if it weighs you down, it keeps you heavy in this moment, if it doesn't allow you to move into your future self, let it go. Let it go. So that you can fully embrace that version of you. Yes, it's going to come with a healthy dose of fear. We all know that, and we feel it, right? But if you want to tap into that version of you, you got to get uncomfortable, babe. It means looking at yourself. You want to change something? If you can't look at it, what are you going to do, huh? You might be able to do it, but you're doing it blind. It's a lot harder. Get out of your comfort zone. Get uncomfortable. Do what they would do. Let it suck. Let it hurt. Let it burn. You're them. You're them, so what's all the fuss about? Shut up. You don't need to complain about it. You got it. You got it. You were made for this. So don't believe anyone, even if it's you, when they say that you weren't or that you aren't. You cultivate deeper self-love in doing so, getting out of your comfort zone and getting uncomfortable, because you witness yourself in different environments and see how you survive, and you realize how you truly do have your own back and how you genuinely will be okay. I've said this before and I will keep saying it. You come into this world on your own. You will leave on your own. You are your own constant. So what does that mean? How are you going to consistently be? How are you going to consistently exist? What is your constant with yourself? What reputation are you building with yourself? Doesn't matter what it's been. I'm asking what you're building. What are you moving into? What is your future with yourself? Let's talk about that relationship. Let's romanticize that relationship. Where are you going, hun? Because from what I hear, your future self's waiting for you. You want to be about it? Get uncomfortable. Show yourself what you're actually made of. You know. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching my video, because you know. You just needed someone to remind you of that. Or at least that's what you thought. You can actually remind yourself. But that comes through action. So go and act. Quit thinking. You've done enough thinking. You've done enough listening, to be honest. You can click out of my video. I give you permission. Just like it before you go. Maybe comment something. But go. Your future self's waiting for you. I was really thinking about the idea of how we avoid doing things we really want to do because of fear of not being good at it. But the irony is you need to do it to eventually be good at it. Or great at it. I wrote it weird, but yes. I thought about the things that I feel uncomfortable to do. I had a conversation with somebody the other day. I was talking about a childhood hobby I had of drawing, painting, and how the first thing I ever wanted to be in life was an artist. That meant painting and drawing for me. Soon as I got older, let that go. I wanted to pursue other things that were more realistic and all of that. And this person said to me, I really want to see you draw again. I really want to see you paint. I want you to get in touch with that. And it made me so uncomfortable. I was like, yeah, maybe, I don't know, I don't have the time. Don't have the time. But you have the time. I have the time. And I was thinking, I was like, what is that? Why am I avoiding? What's going on there? And I thought it was because I realized it's a few things, not all of them are necessary to this video. One of them was just feeling like I'm not good enough. How could I do this as an outlet? If I'm going to express something from myself, it should be the most beautiful, it should be the most perfect. But you see, expression isn't perfect. Because expression is based off of emotion, usually. Or a relationship with oneself. None of that is perfect. But that's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it beautiful. And so yesterday, I started drawing again. I actually went to therapy. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I went to a group session therapy. Let's put the light on. Oh no, I can't. Oh, I'm gonna have to finish this video later otherwise. I went to a group session therapy. I'm sorry it's getting dark, guys. I'll try, maybe I'll move forward a bit and you guys will see me a little bit better. So I went to a group session therapy, and in that we were free to draw. This is with BetterHelp, not sponsored yet. Anyway, and at first it made me so uncomfortable, you know? But then I was like, no one has to see this. It's just for me. Similarly with dancing, I've always wanted to learn so many dances, so many like heels, choreographies and things, and I never got to it. And I was like, it's because I feel like I'm gonna be rubbish. Well, babe, if you want to get good, start. You gotta start somewhere. I wrote here, you just need to be able to do the action and the rest will fall into place. The confidence will come as a result of the repeated action. I'm going to read that again because a lot of people, including you guys in the back, you need to hear it. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I can see your phone. Put it away. Put it away and listen to me. You just need to be able to do the action and the rest will fall into place. The confidence will come as a result of the repeated action. You're not going to feel confident on day one. If you're watching my video, if you're like, I don't mean because it's me, I mean because of the subject matter. If you're watching this video, probably you don't feel confident on day one, and that's fine. That's very normal. Anyone that seems confident on day one, they were probably either born with it, or they have experience within that field, or they're faking it. Okay? You can chill. You can chill, darling. It's fine. I've done 6 or 7 jobs since the age of 15. I'm 23. Do you not think in each of these jobs that I have been uncomfortable? That in the beginning I don't know what on earth I was doing? There were elements at least in every job where I had no idea what was going on. But you know what I did? I was like, I need the money. So I'm gonna do what it takes. But not just that, guys. It wasn't just that. Actually, it was like I just really want to be good. To be honest, I would money didn't. I didn't. No, whatever. I just wanted to be good. Yeah, I wanted to be good, and I also wanted the money. And I was like, I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm gonna do what it takes. So I moved through the discomfort. Heck, I moved with it. I held its hand and said, "I hate you, bitch, but let's keep moving." The fear, I hate you too, motherfucker, but let's keep moving. You know what happened? Eventually, I was third wheeling. It was great. Sometimes it's not a bad thing, you know? But it was perfect. I ended up being matchmaker, the two fell in love, and then there was me, and I got my happily ever after. Right? And I start my full-time job later this month, so persevere, babe. Persevere. It's gonna suck, it's gonna feel scary, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. You're gonna look at yourself and be like, I was not meant for this. Imposter syndrome central. I am this, I am that, I am this, I'm not this, I'm not. Oh my god, I'm shedding my hair so much. This is great. This is what happens when you don't brush your hair. Like, normally I brush my hair when it's wet, which you shouldn't do, and then I dry it, and then I was like, no, I'm gonna do what Rita Kaminsky does. I don't know, maybe she does brush it, to be honest. But I was like, no, my hair has a more tousled look if I don't brush it. You know, it looks a little less perfect. I want to look like I've come out the ocean. But my hair sheds like, oh. Anyway, you're going to have to forgive my lighting. I'm so sorry. I would love to turn the light on, but I don't want the car battery to die. We're going to have a whole palaver if that happens. So forgive my lighting. But just, if you want, put it on in the background, podcast vibes. I'm actually trying to figure out how to get all of my videos into a podcast form, because I know a lot of them are just chatty and no one really needs to just sit and look at my face for that long. So, you know, yeah. Hold on. Maybe we can try this. Maybe we can try this. What do you think? We could try that. Let's try that. Okay. And the lighting works out alright. It's just a bit janky, but it's okay. There we go. Oh, my knees. God, you wouldn't think I'm 23 at this rate. Oh, okay. So moving into the next section, the third thing. Believing and practicing LOA. Now, what does this mean? Before you non-believers want to, I'm not even going to say non-believers, before anyone wants to roll their eyes and click off of this video, just if you want to help yourself, would you just stick around? Would you just stick? I'm doing you a favor. Just have some manners. Sit down. Watch my video or listen to it. Close your eyes and listen to Mama Mahika. My wisdom. Thank you. Or Maharani. Maharani Mahika. Thank you. The first thing I'm going to say is that this is a law we practice whether we want to or not. The law of attraction. Okay? Wake up. This is why I told you not to click off if you wanted to click off. Or roll your eyes and ignore me now. No. This is a law that we practice whether we like it or not. I don't care if you're living in the shittiest environment and somehow you're managing to watch me on whatever device, or you live in a 5-star whatever Kylie Jenner style mansion. I don't, if you are Kylie Jenner, great, hi. That would be weird, but hi. I don't care, okay? At the end of the day, I don't fucking care what your circumstances are. So much of your life experience, your world experience, is curated by your mind. So don't bullshit me and tell me that's not true. We all know the power of when you've had a good day and a little inconvenience comes up versus when you've had a bad day and a little inconvenience comes up. We know the difference that our attitude within that minute can make on the remainder of our projection of our reality within that moment. What do they say? It's not about the fact that you fall. It's about how, let me try that again. It's not about the fact that you've fallen. It's about whether or not you pick yourself up. Now imagine you're running a race. Sports day. I used to hate sports day. Anyway, I like the last one. I got fit by the last one. Not like fit, but like puberty finally did me some good. Anyway, that's irrelevant. Concentrate, Micah. Now imagine you're running a race, right? 200 meter sprint. You trip over your fucking shoes, like a shoelace or your own foot, after like 10 or 20 meters. If you pick yourself up, we all know, all of us know, there's a higher chance that you're not going to come last. If you don't pick yourself up, we all know there's a fairly high chance that you're going to come last. So why is it that we can understand that reality, that framework, where we say, no, I know that within this moment, it's about, I'm talking about attitude versus altitude or whatever. No, that's not it. I'm talking about attitude determining altitude. That's basically what I'm trying to get you to understand, is we understand within that moment where you have fallen and you are on the ground and you have that second to make that decision, or 5 seconds, or 10, whatever you want to call it. I would probably say 5, to make that decision. We all know and acknowledge that if we make a certain decision, we are more likely to have what we would assume and describe as being a more positive outcome, given that we care about the race, right? Within this context. So why is it that we can understand that, but we cannot understand, or some people cannot understand, that if you shift something else within your mind, that can have a positive ripple effect too? Can you explain to me, please? So I've written here, this is imperative. Your world starts in your mind. If you really look around, you will see how people's lives are built off of the narratives that they have about people in the world. Am I wrong? Look at your parents. Look at your guardians. Look at your teachers. Heck, oh my God, do we even need to? Politics. Everyone thinks they're right. Like, we are all coming from our own perceived experience of the world, right? Look at yourself too. What beliefs are your actions based off of? In knowing this and testing this, you can open up your world. Now, how do you do that? Well, it could be very simple. Look at your job. Why do you do that? Why do you do that job? What values are being expressed in you doing that job? Heck, you don't even have to look at your job, your lifestyle. What do you do outside of your job? How do you spend your free time? That perhaps might be a clearer indicator of your values. Because that's your free time. You don't have a boss telling you what to do. Heck, you know, maybe you go to your job and you do your job not because you love what you do, but because being able to have financial security for yourself and your family is important. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong here, but we need to be able to understand why we do what we do, because sometimes when we don't look at that, when we don't face the monster under the bed or in the closet or whatever, we cannot actually see the wood for the trees. We do not actually see what is going on. We walk through life like this. Eyes closed. That's not helpful. That's half a life. That's half an experience. That's half of fulfillment, if even that. Your limiting beliefs could be blocking you. A very easy way to quickly pinpoint some. Ask yourself where you repeatedly go wrong in life. What's that one mistake that you keep repeating in different fonts? Write it down, bitch. You don't want to admit it? You know what it is. It just came to your mind, honey. It just came to your mind. Come on, I never said this video was going to be easy. We choose hard. We choose difficult because that's who we are. We're strong people. We can handle it. So now, are you with me or not? Are you with yourself more importantly? Show yourself more importantly that you're with yourself. And write that shit down. What's the thing where you just keep effing it up? I ain't judging you. I'm not here to, what do I gain from judging you? I have my things. But the important thing is that you're able to address it and ask yourself, does this actually make me happy? What am I trying to achieve here? Let me tell you something. I was studying something a while ago. Something I had chosen. Kept mucking it up. Same mistake. Over and over again. I was living a lie. Over and over again. Why? Because underneath it all, I wanted to please my parents. They hadn't chosen it for me. I did. I got myself into the mess. But underneath it all, I wanted to please my parents. I had to look at that. Sometimes shit will happen and life will make you look at it whether you like it or not. It will kidnap you and put you in a chair, hold you hostage, tie you up with rope, and leave you there looking at this carcass of your life and the mistake you made or mistakes you made. And that's how you gotta look at it. And perform your own fucking autopsy. Right? But other times you can do yourself a favor and just go in with a magnifying glass, look at yourself in the mirror. Literally or figuratively. Probably more so figuratively. And you can be like, okay, what's actually going on? If I look at my example, it's not a bad thing for me to want to please my parents. Are you kidding me? My parents are incredible people. They are fucking good people. They are good people. They've invested so much in me. Oh my God. I couldn't even list it. I really could not list it. Like on my 10 hands? Wow. Yeah, even then. Even if I had 10 hands, I couldn't. It's not a bad thing. I shouldn't feel bad about that. But maybe the way in which I want to go about that should be in a way that's more authentic to me, right? Right? And then what you do, so you first, okay, you look at what you're doing, why you're doing it, if that actually works for you. Look at the value behind that. This part's key, because this is about curating your dream life, really, through becoming your dream self. So you look at if that's actually working for you. Maybe parts of it are, maybe other parts of it aren't. But now what you've done is you've taken your power back. Because you're looking at it. And looking at it, you can actually do something about it. If you have a surgeon, yeah, the surgeon's got power, but he's got his eyes closed, and he has to perform surgery. He has got the power to perform a surgery, hun. He can do it. But if he's doing it with his eyes closed, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think the outcome is gonna be successful? I don't think so. I think you're gonna leave something in there. I'm telling you. Same thing. You have power. You have the power to change your life. But if you do it with your eyes closed, what do you think is going to happen? As in, if you do it without looking, if you don't look and examine it for what it is and see, okay, which parts of this are like ugly, which parts of this are good, beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, been talking too much. Then you're not actually taking your power back and claiming it. You aren't actually opening your eyes as a surgeon, because you can't. Yes, you have the power. Yes, you have the qualification and the skill and the expertise and yada, and all those letters after your name. Amazing. But you're doing it with your eyes closed. What do you think's gonna happen? Open your eyes. Look at it. This is what's working for you. This is what's not. Maybe you need to try it differently. And now this is where you get precise. And you get to be like, okay, that version of me that I think about, what's their life like? What are their values like? Are their values my values? And then how do they express that within their life? Given what I'm doing now and all of these different facets of how I express my values in my life, what steps can I take to achieve that? And all of a sudden it seems accessible to you. Given you also follow the other steps of discipline and getting out of your comfort zone, it feels accessible to you. Why? Because you have taken the time to look at yourself. You've taken the time to look at yourself. When you look at yourself, you can look at that person that you want to become fully as well. They don't feel like an illusion anymore. They feel like a human being, a real person. You can acknowledge them and embrace their reality. And you can actually, I don't even know how to describe this, but you can see them. I don't think tangible is the right word. Is that the clouds? Do they look fancy? Oh, yeah. Ooh, moody. I'm so sorry about the light. Oh, there's no light in here. But you can, sorry about a bit of the waffling and stuff, but seriously, you can actually see them as someone you can become. You open yourself up to them. You're receptive to them. You're ready to embrace them as part of your journey. You can become. But if you are too afraid to look at yourself and question your beliefs, you will remain as you are. You will remain stuck. You will remain in a version of you that hurts you. You want to be rid of your pain? You need to be willing to change. And change starts from here. Change starts from being like, I'm going to look at what's ugly. And I don't mean ugly like, other people are going to go, ew, that's ugly. I don't mean what other people call ugly. Maybe other people called it ugly and you internalized it. I'm not talking about other people's version of ugly and definition of it. I mean your ugly. Look at your ugly. Look at what you don't want to look at within yourself that disgusts the shit out of you. Look at that. And then open yourself to the world that you want to see. The world that you want to live in, because you know it's there. Eating my lipstick. I'm so stressed because you guys. Well, it's lip gloss, actually. It's Fenty, darling. It's Fenty. Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best for this queen. Do I know him? No, I don't. It's getting dark, which is so abysmal given my gorgeous makeup. Oh, you need to like for my dedication, guys, because I spent about 45 minutes on my makeup. You know what? Let's come closer. I'll maybe put the audio down a little and I'm going to talk here because my makeup's just too pretty for me to not. I think it's pretty. It's too pretty for me to not be close to the camera because the sun is going and you need to know that my makeup is pretty because I spent a really long time doing it, which is why I'm losing the sun now. Anyway, gratitude. Gratitude. You probably heard this everywhere. Look, bitch, if you want to go, fine, go. With your stank ass attitude, I don't want you here anyway. But for the people that are here, thank you. And honestly, just thank yourself because you need to remember these points for you. Not for, you can remember for other people if you want. Whatever. Relish in today and you will have a more delicious tomorrow. Okay? Today could be your last day on earth. all mine. Because of this, I have never given anyone or anything the power to ruin my day, week, month, etc. I'm fucking serious about this one. I've seen people throw tantrums. I've seen people throw fits. Oh, this didn't go perfectly. Oh, my holidays are ruined. My holidays are ruined. My week is ruined. Fine. Okay. It's ruined. Why? Not because of what they did, though. Because you said so. Have fun. Have fun having a tantrum. But whilst you're busy having a tantrum, your own life is passing you by. More importantly, the opportunities that could actually really serve you. Now, when I was really little, I'll admit, when I was a kid, like 7, 8, someone would ruin my birthday. Ruined, yeah, whatever. I was a princess, doesn't matter. I'm not them anymore. I mean, aside from that, I never let anyone ruin my day. Seriously. And don't get me wrong, yes, I've had rough days, but no one really gets the power to ruin my day, not over something silly. It's like crying over spilt milk. Why? I will always find a golden moment and a silver lining. That was meant to be my closing statement for this part, but seriously. That's my fucking treasure, babe. You don't get to take that from me. You don't get to take that from me. Nobody gets to take away that joy, that sort of, you know, when you bite into a juicy nectarine or mango or whatever feels just so fresh and oh my god, like God created this. This is so wow. One of nature's creations. Or you go into the sea. It's not even about eating something. You go into the sea and you're like, oh, it's like the perfect temperature with the heat and then the texture of the sand between my toes and this. You ever just do that and then you're like, and I'm gonna ruin my savoring of these moments because of what somebody else said and their inability to just handle themselves. I don't mean handle themselves as in like not be human. I mean handle themselves as in treat people well. Treat people with respect, with decency. Joy is now. Happiness is now. Again, caveat this with, yes, you will always, there are going to be elements of shit. You know, we're human. We're going to experience shit, okay? There are going to be days where it's just not good. Seasons, years even at times where it's just not good. I get that. But this is where I'm going to say you can be happy, hurting, and healing at the same time. You got to live it. That's life. Happy, hurting, and healing is living. That's most people, babe. But the happy part, that's in your hands. Hurting and healing, those can come in, they come close to grief. And I always say grief has a mind of its own. You can take those things, you can park them at times, you can take them, you can go to therapy, you can journal, you can do your catharsis through art or whatever the medium you like. Talking therapy, whatnot. What's that? Capoeira? I don't know. It's like a fight dance thing. It's cute. Capoeira? I don't know. Whatever. Singing. I don't know. Dissecting cars and putting them back together. I don't know. But the happy part, that's on you. Quickest route to happiness? Gratitude. Right now. Gratitude. If you're still watching this video, there's probably a high chance you can breathe. Right? There's a high chance you can hear. At least to an extent. Maybe you can see just enough. You know, you have access to the internet. That's pretty cool. You can see me. You're welcome. There are going to be aspects of your life. Doesn't have to be all of it. Most people, I'm going to tell you, most people, 99.9%, I really can't tell. I don't think there's one person on this earth that doesn't struggle with something. You know, and you can call it privilege problems or whatever. It's all perspective. And pain is pain. You know, nobody has the right to, what's it called? Disregard, I guess. Somebody else's pain. Disregard, is that the word? Make light of somebody else's pain. So no matter who you are, where you're from, somebody will always want something of what you have. Something. Whether it's a parent, you know, friends that make you laugh, a school to go to, a book to read, a tree to sit under, a car to drive, a job to make you money, a spouse that loves them, hair on their head. I don't know, a recipe book that allows them to explore their talents or their curiosity. There is at least one thing that you can say thank you for. And if you come at me with an attitude of no there isn't, you don't understand my life, I'm not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna tell you to shut the fuck up, though I want to. Oh no, though I could. I'm gonna say, calm down. Calm down, my love. Please, for yourself. Not for me. And when you're ready, so you're gonna close your eyes, breathe, take some deep breaths. Yeah? Hold it. Mahika's such a crazy bitch. I hate her. What the fuck does she make me doing? I hate her. Oh my god, she's such a stupid bitch. She's telling me to calm down. What the fuck does she mean calm down? I'm gonna kill her. I'm clicking off a stupid video. She's not talented anyway. Whatever you want to say. Or maybe this isn't the worst thing in the world. And when you're ready, you're gonna look around you. Left, right, up, down, wherever. You don't have to move your head. And you're gonna find one thing that maybe brings a little smile to your lips. Or even if it doesn't do that, just kind of reminds you of a happy memory. And you're gonna write that down, whether it be in your notes app or Notion or on paper. I suggest you write it down. And you're gonna say thank you, God. Or thank you to whoever gave that to you, that memory, that item, that piece of clothing, whatever. You're gonna say thank you. And you're gonna hold on to that. And anytime you feel like shit, like your world is falling apart and you're going into a spiral, you can't handle it, you're gonna hold on to that one thing. And you're gonna say thank you. And this is where we can bring up actually even Liz's technique. She shared it on a short, The Wizard Liz. She said, I think, was it a short? I don't remember, but she said something about thank you, please can I have more? A manifestation method. You could try that. Thank you, please can I have more? Whether it's actually that thing or just the emotion that that thing brings you. Of course you can have more. Of course you can have more. Your life was made for abundance, and you were made to experience it. Of course you can have more. Try it every day. Try it in the quiet moments where you don't want to sit with yourself. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths for yourself to recalibrate. Come back to a more neutral and calm baseline with yourself. Open your eyes and find one thing. These little moments of gratitude will save you in the long run. Don't shy away from them. There's always something you can be grateful for. Who gives a fuck, right? This is about the power of ruining someone's day. Who gives a fuck? So because of somebody else's action or something else I have no control over, I am going to mope about and be angry the remainder of this day and write off the whole day? Are you fucking kidding me? Stop swearing. Are you kidding me? Nothing and no one has the right to do that. Not over your life, bitch. Not over your life, honey. Not around here. People are only allowed to improve your life. Improve the day. If someone's coming to make a shit, okay, thank you. But there is a wall of protection between you and them. You and that event. You deal with it, but it doesn't deal with you. You know what I mean? Some days you're gonna feel like it wants to, like it's really close, but you don't let it. You don't let it have that. You don't let it get you down for long. It might dig its claws into you for a little bit. Ow. You cry 20 minutes, 2 hours. You just wiped out. You pick yourself back up. I don't care if it's 8 p.m. at night. You go and do the laundry if you have to do it. You show up for yourself. Because you're worth it. I am still blessed and life is still beautiful in many ways. And I'm always ready to see it as enough. What do you think got me through my cake year? What do you think? I started a gratitude journal in June last year. Do you want to know when I'm filming this? February. It's been 8 months of gratitude journaling. 5 things a day. I stick to it. Not for anyone else. For me. For me. Even in the shit, you need to be able to see the shine. The good. See the good. It doesn't have to be in everything. It doesn't have to be in everyone. Find something. You don't do that for anyone else. You do that for you. For yourself. I do not want to waste time in what people are not, and how this is wrong, and this is bad, and this is missing, etc. beyond what is necessary. See, if I'm a manager, or I'm a leader, or whatever. Yes, it's good for me to have my eye on the ball. I want to know what's going on, where our deficiencies are, for the progression of our team, for where we want to go, our mission. You got to know where you got to check your blind spots. You got to know where your deficiencies are, so you know what your weaknesses, so you know where you can improve. But beyond that, focusing on what this person isn't and how they're not showing up and all of that, how does that benefit anyone? At that point, you're just asking to be in a bad mood. Which is definitely the last thing you want. As a manager, leader, ship. What's the ship? I was going to say ship leader. What are they called? Captain. The captain of your ship, which is your life. Yeah, you want to know where there's, something a little creaky in the ship. But if you keep thinking, okay, where's the hole? Where's the hole? There's going to be a hole in the ship. I know it. Well, then who's going to bloody steer it? I don't know much about this. I've just watched Pirates of the Caribbean a few times. Actually, I think I might finish that today. That'd be nice. Yeah, I haven't watched it since last year. I stopped the movie halfway, I think in July. Gosh, right, anyway. But also if you just focus on, oh, well, this teammate is not this, and personally I don't like them like this. Yeah, but do they do the job? Do they do the job? Are they doing their best? Are their weaknesses complemented by somebody else's strengths? Is it necessary to worry about that? Is it actually? Does worrying about that and focusing on what they're not? I'm not going to say the negative because a lot of people won't understand that. They're just going to see it as realistic or neutral. But what you're actually doing is focusing on the negative, because what you're doing is you're thinking about something like something is not this or someone is not enough of this, and it's making you feel bad. It's making you feel negative. It's making you feel sour, right? So that's focusing on the negative. And if you're doing that, are you actually coming to any solution? Whether it's about them or about how you're going to take your life. Oh God, not take your life. That's not what we want to do here. No, guys, that's the opposite of what It's been a long day. It's been a long day. I need the sun. I am a sun girl. I need the sun to function. Okay, that's not what I was saying. Not take your life. To handle your life. Right? So if I see something that I don't like in somebody, or if I see something negative that doesn't work for me, right? I'm like, okay, I know that I want to do the opposite of that in my life. And then I move forward doing the opposite because I don't want that. And that's what I do. That's how I make their negative into my positive. That's how I make their lack into my abundance. But if I keep focusing on their lack, what does that bring me? Can someone please finish that equation? Because I don't see anything good coming from it. I want to spend the rest of my time in abundance and growth, giving me further access to connection with people in the world, because that is what life is about for me. I will always find a golden moment and a silver lining. God, it's so dark, guys. It's so dark. It's so dark. It's so weird. I want to put the light on, but I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to... Nah, I've got this section is too much. I don't want to ruin the car, so I'm gonna be back here with you. Let's get a little cozy. So sad. I did my makeup so nicely. If you liked it, then maybe I'll do it again in another video. I mean, not that you can see it, but anyway. Forgiveness and patience. This reduces your victim mentality. 2, Your parents didn't show up the way you needed them to? Be angry. Yes, get it out and process it in therapy or talk to your friends. Then move the fuck on. If you're choosing to hold on to that, if you're choosing to hold on to resentment, you're harming yourself. You gotta look at it like this. Look, there are things that happen that hurt us, where life knocks us down. And it is that person's fault. And it is that situation that caused that. Yes, 100%. But in your healing journey, there will be a moment or a series of events which makes you realize that now you're going through a transition where it's not so much about what this person did or what these people did or what happened to you. It's now becoming what you do with it and who you are as a result of it. Do you understand? What happened to you is real. The pain you experienced is real. The pain you still experience is real. But aside from that, if you stay in it and it is still your narrative after the appropriate time frame has gone by, I don't mean appropriate by what other people think, by what unhealed people or people who don't know what therapy is say is appropriate. I mean what you know deep down is appropriate for you. You gotta ask yourself, is there a part of this in which I am choosing to stay in pain? Where am I perhaps choosing to stay suffering? Guys, my car is gonna be blown away by the end of this. Like my video, please. Dedication. I'm gonna be gone with the bloody wind. Actually, to be honest, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, so I don't know if that reference is probably bad. Never mind. I'm gonna be swept away. I don't know, that's a movie too, flushed away. It's dark and moody and scary, and oh gosh, guys. You need to check in and say, okay, is there a part of this, a narrative perhaps that I keep telling myself, which actually is outdated now, and I can release it and surrender to the unknown or what God has to bring me, even though it's scary. You gotta check in. You cannot live your life and center your existence around what happened to you, no matter how much it sucks or hurt, because you deserve better than that. There is a time for feeling sorry for yourself. Absolutely. I'm not even gonna say like 20 minutes. It depends what the event is, or the series of events, so like what it is that you're dealing with. Heck, and I will always say, healing is not linear. There might be times where you regress back or you come up and then you have to go back to like sort of the base one form of healing. Like I am coming up to a 1-year anniversary of a trauma that occurred. I'm back in therapy. That's the healing I need now. I need to go and talk about that trauma again. That's what I need. Will I carry it with me the same way I did back then? No. Will I need as much time in therapy as I spent back then? Probably not. But there will be moments where you need to release and you need to let go of that identity of the person that was hurt, because you're not that person anymore, babe. You don't need to be them, because you're becoming your future self. Let him go. Give him a hug. Say thank you for keeping me alive, safe, protected. You taught me so much, and I was so much, I became so much because of you, or I learned so much because of you. Thank you, but you don't serve me anymore. And let them go. Learn to trust that people are just people, and when you can admit to your own shortcomings and see where you have made mistakes and forgive yourself for them, you will open your heart to do the same for others. Life is precious. Do not waste it trying to control what people should be and how they are not enough. Receive people with abundance. Know and protect your boundaries, and let people show up as they are. You know whether it works for you or if it doesn't. If it does, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Not everyone has to be your best friend, and that doesn't mean you hate them. We are all on this journey together. Let's enjoy it and make the most of it. And I know it's very easy to say all of this and it sounds all perfect and like we're all in amity from Divergent or whatever, where everyone's just happy and gets along. And no, even in rupture there is something to be learned. Like, I think A long time ago, I watched an Anna Akana video, and she's talking about in friendship or something where you can fall apart, you can have a rupture in your friendship where you can sort of like break up or something can happen, but can you come together? You know, and that stuff makes life too. So when I say all of this, I don't mean everything's all perfect and glowy and all of that. Obviously not. Look at the rest of my channel if you haven't. Like, you'll understand that I'm aware of that. But it's about coming back to that reality. Learn to forgive yourself, to release who you've been. When you can show that compassion, this is where again you set the baseline. When you treat yourself a certain way, when you meet yourself a certain way, at a certain depth, you can meet the world at that depth. When you can meet the world at that level of compassion. Let me tell you something. My parents, maybe your parents, first time I started dealing with mental health issues, 10 or so years ago, they were like, what is wrong with her? What is this? We don't understand. Anxiety? Who? What? Dictionary, please. Like, they did not understand. Okay? And yes, to put it simply, it's cultural differences, it's age differences, it's all of that. Yes. But do you know what it actually is underneath all of that? If you take that out, what's behind the culture as the reason? What's behind the age as the reason? Is because the people of that culture, is because the people of that generation did not know how to get in touch with themselves on that level. It's not a criticism, it's just a fact. And because my parents had never learned how to perhaps practice mindfulness, maybe in a more conscious way, or just in general. Thank God I have my computer here. I was thinking of writing my notes up. That wouldn't have been good for anyone. Other things like perhaps breath work, you know, or terminology like someone being depressed versus experiencing depression, useful language, all of these things. I mean, you panic. What's a panic attack? What? You know? I would get told, my mum, bless her, in the early days, no shade, nothing. She'd be like, snap out of it. Snap. But if I could, I would. You know? And it's not because they're incompetent, or I mean, I guess effectively, yes. But I don't want to say my parents are incompetent. It's not because they're stupid. It's not because they don't care. It's not because, you know, the intention isn't there. It's just that they have never met that within themselves. When it's, for God's sake, it's like I've heard of this story about a variety of these stories where men don't know how to be there for their girlfriends or wives or partners. And what I mean by that is emotionally they don't know how to hold a safe space for them. These women will come to them with, I'm feeling this. And men will sort of shut down and be like, deal with it. You know, in whatever way that comes out for them. Is that good? No, not at all. But if you look at our culture at large, it doesn't promote men being in touch with their feelings. I'm not talking about men sitting down and crying all day. Heck, I don't want that for anyone. But I mean the ability to recognize one's emotions. Again, we're going back to looking at yourself. They've never looked at themselves. I don't mean as a guy, as a man, as this human identity they have within this lifetime. I mean as the experience of being themselves, like the inner self. They've never looked at that fully because they're afraid of it. They've been taught to be afraid of it. So how can they possibly meet the women in their lives with that emotional understanding when they don't even understand their own? They don't even understand their own inner world. How can they help a woman to understand hers? How did I start talking about this? Hold on. I don't remember, but I think I was talking about forgiveness. Effectively, your relationship with yourself is the baseline for the relationship you have with other people. A lot of the time. There might be exceptions. I don't know. I'm no psychologist. But if you want to know how to reach a deeper level with yourself, you have to have you forgiven yourself? If you haven't, that's okay. You don't need to do it rush. You don't have to do it in a rush. I'm not telling you to do it right now. But it's a journey that you should be open to taking. Because I'm sure there are things where you're like, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't betrayed myself like that. I wish I hadn't been that version of me. I wish I hadn't said that to that person. You know? And patience. You were meant to know what you were meant to know at that time. They were meant to be that version of them at that time. It is what it is. It was what it was meant to be. And it's gonna be great. That's all I can say. That's all I can say, sweetie. Forgiveness and patience. Show yourself some grace. Show yourself some grace. Show the world some grace. Lord knows we could all do with it sometimes. I'm really trying to lean into, I'm working on it. I'm better on camera than I am IRL because sometimes I'm scared of real people. But I'm really trying to lean into being the change. Because in order to inspire, really, and to inspire good, you have to be good. You have to be what it is that you wish to inspire in others. And if you want a more kind world, be kind. If you want to find more peace in the world, be at peace with yourself. If you want to be happy, God, who doesn't? And feel fulfillment, find that within yourself. Be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to tap into what that actually means for you. And go after it with all of your fucking guts. I know it's a bit random, but I hope that helps you guys. I'm really sorry. I think let's get home. I'm going to drive home and then I will end the video there for you. Okay. It's a big sheet. Okay. I hope that's all right, my darlings. Okay, so we're back. I want to try and give you a nice setting, you know, because I looked at the end of the last video and I was like, that's dark, they're moody, that ain't cute. You can't even see my makeup. What do we like? Do we like this? Let's do this. It's cozy. It's cozy with a little fire. Guys, give yourself the gift of like discipline and living outside of your comfort zone and believing and practicing in LOA, gratitude and forgiveness and patience, because that's what it really is. It's a gift to yourself. It's difficult in the moment, but it's so worth it. And when you learn to practice these muscles within yourself, like strengthen them, you live a better life. You live a happier life. You live a life where you're living as a better version of you. And these aren't things, you know, none of these things are, I guess you could say, externally controlled, if you will. Like if I said to you, okay, this is how you make £100,000, and not that I would know, but anyway, you know, if I said this is how you make £100,000, they're very like, there are sort of steps to it, you know. There are physical things that you can do. If I said to you that this is how you get a six-pack, you know, there are methodical steps that you can take. But with this is more about changing the way that you perceive yourself, the way that you perceive the world, the way that you perceive tasks and things within the world. And it's about healing your inner world so that you can view your outer world with more love and patience and compassion and, I guess, fire and depth. You deserve that. You deserve that. And if anyone's here and they're at 0, I want to tell you, you absolutely will get to 1. And when you do, you will feel limitless. And I've said this in a previous video, I think, which one was it? It's all blurring into one. Was it the manifestation? I don't think so. I think it was that same one I referenced earlier about the 3 things that could be holding you back. Yes, it was about winning in the micro, that when you achieve things in the micro, when you achieve many things for yourself, when you get to 1, that's when your world opens up, because it's very hard to believe in that version of you, and you can see them but they don't feel real to you. You don't feel connected to them because you haven't done the micro. You're not winning in the micro. When you give yourself that gift of being like, I'm gonna make it, because not only have you shown yourself through your discipline and you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, but you've also invested in changing your worldview into something more positive, something that lifts you up, something that works for you by using LOA and by seeing the good in the world, by taking the time to be grateful and be forgiving and be patient with not only yourself but with others. When you do that, you're showing yourself that you can open yourself up to more. You take yourself to 1, and when you take yourself to 1 and you've won that, then everything else becomes so much more accessible to you and you feel limitless. Because these are the things that we, honestly, I would say, struggle with the most as people. Saying no to ourselves. Where's my list gone? Pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, to believe in that version of ourselves, to see today as enough to work with. These are the things that we struggle with the most. So if you take the time, I don't want to say to tackle them, I feel like that's a bit aggressive, but if you take the time to nourish them into something that can be used for you and the benefit of you and your growth, then I really feel that you really will feel so powerful and so much stronger. Because I've said this before, but you must learn to manage yourself before you manage others. And I don't just mean that in the sense of managing other people, but I mean it's also like as a human being, as an adult, you know, you want to make sure you can somewhat stand on your own 2 feet before you bring other humans into it, ideally, right? Similarly, you want to know how to work with who you are today, because when you do that, whatever future version of you that you'd like to be, you'll be good. You'll know how to work with them. If you can work with your present self, you can work with that upgraded version of you. Absolutely. But it starts now. It starts today. Change starts today. Be willing to look at yourself. Be willing to expand your view of yourself and your worldview as a result of it. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not trying to convert you into anything. I'm not trying to say that you're not good enough. But what we are trying to do here together is embrace movement and growth and progression in a positive way. It's going to sting at times. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel like, what on earth am I doing? But I know that you absolutely got this. So wherever you are in your journey, if you're at 0, you're at 1, you're at 50, you're at 100 even, and you just had a little blip, whatever, you're doing great. You're going to be amazing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Any questions or anything, leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video.